And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan. Once again, continuing my review for Netflix's Cobra Kai. This time it's season 2. But before I begin that, I gotta let you guys know, spoiler alert, and also I will be continuing talking about season 1 since I didn't get to cover everything there. So I'm gonna continue from season 1 and then right into season 2. So we all know at the beginning of season 1 of Cobra Kai, you have Johnny. He's at that point where he has no idea what he wants to do. He meets Miguel. He wants to learn how to defend himself. So they open up Cobra Kai. He brings it back. Danny, he's trying to run his business, and then he sees it, gets flashbacks of his childhood not being so well because of the whole Cobra Kai Johnny situation and how Mr. Miyagi helped him learn how to be defense more than offense, because that's what Cobra Kai is. Cobra Kai is more offense than defense, and Miyagi's school was basically more defense than offense. So, the school is getting popularity. Everybody's starting to go into it. Kids, Miguel's trying to get kids to come in. He thinks this is a really good idea. He wants to help his friends out, especially his friends who are always getting picked on. Like the kid with, he's got like a bad... I'm going to spoil it here, so if you don't want to know, turn off right now. So one of his friends, he ends up turning his name into Hawk, but that's in season 2, but we'll get that into a minute. He has like a little scar in his lip. Apparently he had like surgery, and it left a nasty scar like right over here, up here. Everybody makes fun of him. All the bullies make fun of him. The girls don't want to even look at him, think he's gross. He goes into the team, and then Johnny starts messing with him as well. Telling him like, hey man, you're worthless if you're gonna continue thinking that's your problem. You're not gonna be able to stand up to yourself if you conquered that fear of having just this little problem that he has. It's not super noticeable unless you stare at the kid. And at one point he ends up leaving, and you think he quits the team, but then he comes back and he changes his name to Hawk. And that's in season 2. Literally, he comes back, changes his name. Well, not season 2. He comes back during season 1, and he changes his name to Hawk. He has a full Hawk, literally, and he just, his whole transformation from that one moment where he was not only getting picked on by the kids at school because he has that problem in his lip, but from the teacher who was trying to teach him about how to be, self-confident and all that. He goes and he completely has a complete makeover, and then as you see the seasons progress, he becomes a pretty badass person. It's really awesome. He's like one of my favorite characters in the show. In season 2, he becomes, and also season 3, he does become a little bit of a arrogant jerk. But it's understandable why he's doing that. But I'll talk about them when we get there. So at the end of season 1, before all that even happens, season 2 starts. They get ready for a tournament. The Valley tournament's coming up. The same one that Danny beat Johnny at, the famous crane fight scene. It happened there. And of course, Cobra Kai is going to be representing. But while that's all happening, before all that even happens, you have Danny. He ends up meeting another boy named Rodney, I believe. That turns out to be Johnny's son. Now, Johnny and his son are astray from each other. They don't really talk. His son doesn't really care about school. He just goes off and he ends up stealing things from his friends, kind of like Fast and Furious when they used to just steal DVD players. He does that, but with skateboards. Let's go figure. So he had friends. He did that, and then he ends up working at Danny's school, like his job, where he sells his car dealership. That's what I've been saying. Car dealership. Goes there, starts working. His friends think, oh, this is going to be a sweet gig. We can get some rims, maybe some CD players, maybe even a car to steal. And then, of course, Ronnie just like, nah, man, I actually like working here. He actually ends up having fun, and he likes learning things and how to, be more, I guess, responsible. He learns that, and then, you see Danny, he takes him in as like his students in a way. Not only even before he starts teaching him karate, because he does eventually does that, but he starts like kind of like mentor him into the path of like being good and not being in trouble all the time, because he did get himself into trouble not only in school but also with the law. So he has his moments where any slip ups can put him back in jail. But as he meets Danny, he just starts turning everything around, and of course his friends don't like it. They start beating him up, and then he goes from there. Then Danny starts teaching him karate, and then that's how the whole rivalry comes in. Then he finds out that that's his son, and then he finds out that that's Johnny's son, but then he thinks it's all a play. He thinks Johnny's messing with him. He tells the kid to leave. Kid comes back when the whole tournament starts, and then they have the big tournament. And then Danny starts to realize, whoa, this kid's actually serious. He wants to learn karate. He wants to be good. And then he starts coaching them. And then the whole tournament happens. Then you have Danny student versus Johnny student, which is Miguel and Ronnie. They all fight, and then of course you see that Cobra Kai actually ends up winning this fight and winning this tournament. So, the ending of the first season was pretty cool. And then of course, the ending, the big reveal at the end was the fact that Johnny's old master, the original Cobra Kai leader, returns as well. And who knows what's going to happen with him moving forward. Now we get on to season 2. So season 2, you have Johnny's old instructor come in. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you brought back the band together. We can rule. We can bring these guys back, to bring them to glory. One trophy's good, but we can make more. We can really show what Cobra Kai is about. And Johnny ain't having it. Johnny's like, no, 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 I ain't doing this. No, thank you. No way. And then, of course, new students come in. And then this is where we meet Tori. Tori is this young girl, very blonde, very beautiful young girl, played by the actress from that TV show, Jessie from Disney Channel, who played Emma. She plays her, so that's kind of cool. She ends up she's like a tough, like, girl who has her own problems, but, you'll get to that later on. And then, of course, you have Miguel and Johnny. They continue with their bond and their friendship, and then things start to happen where, Johnny is like trying to learn technology, and Miguel's not helping him out, so that was pretty funny stuff. And what else? And then of course you have Johnny's old master. He's there helping, but then you realize, wait, why is he helping him out? Like, okay, maybe he wants to help him out. Maybe Johnny's gonna turn bad. Because in the first season, you want to root for Cobra Kai. You want Cobra Kai to be good, to be set up a good example for the community, and not go back to its bad ways. Now that the old master's back, who knows what's going to happen. And then, as that's happening, you have Johnny. He's trying to get in contact with his old girlfriend, which was the girl that he was fighting over with Danny all those years ago. She ends up coming back. She's apparently like a doctor in some other city. She shows up. They have a little, kind of like a little date, but not really a date. They just hang out, remembering the past together. And you see Johnny just, deal with that. And at first you think, okay, he's going to end up cheating, because apparently he has a crush on Miguel's mother. So there's that situation. So who knows what's going to happen there. But it ends up turning out pretty cool, because he realizes that he should just cherish what he has now instead of living in the past. So he ends up, saying goodbye to his old friend, and he moves on. Well, that's all going on. You have the school and Cobra Kai, everybody at that side is arguing with their old friends, who are now teaming up with Sam's father's, new dojo that he just started opening up. His business is kind of like, at a good point. So he has time to start up this new Miyagi school, as he calls it. He has that. He opens it up. He gets a couple new students. At first, people are like wondering, are you serious? Painting fences? Because he's teaching them what Mr. Miyagi taught him, and how he learned how to do his whole karate, the wax on, wax off stuff. So we got to see that. That was pretty cool stuff. We got to see Sam meets Tori, and of course at that moment they both hate each other, because in season 1, Sam was dating Miguel. They were together. Miguel liked her, but he didn't have the confidence until he started doing karate. Then, of course, he did get the confidence to go out with her. They went out. Something happened between the two of them. They broke up. Then Ronnie comes in. Then Tori comes in. It's a whole kind of like a love square kind of thing. It's, yeah, sure, the little romance stuff is okay, whatever, sure, fine. It works, I guess. I enjoyed it, so, but yeah, season 2, I think season 2 was great too, because it just got more crazier, because you see the rivalries, and then of course you have Hawk. Hawk went from that kid who always got picked on because he had I guess like a birth defect or a surgery defect, or whatever you want to call it, a facial defect, and then he completely transformed. He has literally a full Hawk, and he has a tattoo of I think an eagle or a falcon on his back. So that's cool. His attitude has completely changed. Him and Miguel both are like, oh, we're the big bad people now. You guys can't mess with us. They pick on everybody now. They don't even care anymore. They think that Cobra Kai is always is the right way. Just don't show mercy to your enemies, kind of thing. And it worked for a while for them, but then Miguel starts to realize, yeah, this isn't working. And even Johnny starts to realize, well, my methods is not working. While he's got his old master in his ear whispering to him like, hey man, this stuff works for us. We need to keep doing this. This is the only way these kids are gonna learn. And then they build a whole rivalry with with Danny's school and his team and his kids, that he's trying to help out, who want to learn the right way, and not, because some of them were in Cobra Kai, then they end up jumping ship or getting kicked out because they weren't tough enough. Apparently, they end up leaving. They end up joining Danny's side. They start bonding as friends. Then of course Cobra Kai hates them. They start duking it out, and then all hell breaks loose. And then of course you get to the best scene that's pretty much all over TikTok, is the fight scene at school. The fight scene at the school, which leads because Tori saw that Sam was kissing Miguel. And at that time, Miguel was dating Tori. See? And, Tori was with Miguel and Sam's with Rodney. Unfortunately, they're not really together. They kind of kissed at one point, but we're really not really sure if they're really together. At one point, she didn't even want to tell her father that they were together, because he's living at their house because his mother is not around. He's not talking to his dad. So with Ronnie being at their house, it makes it kind of awkward and kind of creepy at the same time. And it's like, okay, it's like your brother being there, but he's not really your brother. He just lives there, so that could be awkward. But they kind of have feelings for each other. Ronnie does have feelings for her. She may have feelings for him. Who knows? And then it's just like, okay, that's how the fight happens. They get into the fight at school. Everybody starts fighting. Even Hawk starts fighting his former best friend, who he used to be attached to the hip. He used to talk about Game of Thrones, Magic the Gathering, all that kind of nerdy stuff together. And then when he completely changed his look and changed his attitude, he's like, he hates his supposed best friend. It's like his brother from another mother. He literally hates him and he wants to kill him. So we get to see that. And the fight at the school was crazy good. The choreography on that was amazing. I thought that worked. And of course, at the end of that episode, Miguel gets injured badly. Badly. Ronnie ends, they end up having a fight. He has to fight with Ronnie because Sam is fighting with Tori. And then Miguel falls off the ledge onto the school steps. He hurts his back, kind of paralyzing him for a little bit. And Ronnie leaves. He just disappears. We have no idea. And then, of course, Johnny and Danny, they end up finding Ronnie to see what happens to him. Try to find where is he. Doesn't work out. And then, of course, you have at the end of the episode, or the end of the season, Johnny's old master, he ends up taking over Cobra Kai. And everybody stays with him there. They believe in no mercy, all that, and the pain stuff. They want to hurt everybody in Mr. Miyagi's school. They want to beat them to the point where they're not gonna come back from it. So it gets pretty intense, and I thought season 2 was really, really cool. You know, a lot of them, like, they just hate each other. They were once friends, and a lot of them, like, hate each other. You have, like, these 2 little kids who were, like, maybe, like, the 7th graders of the group. They hate each other. They were, like, best friends, just like Hawk and his best friend were like this to each other, like, so close. They hate each other now. You know, you got one kid who's, like, super shy. He's got, like, scrawny little bones. He doesn't know how to, you know, punch properly or whatever. You know, Danny tries to teach him as best as he can. He eventually turns around, but yeah, it gets crazy. Season 3 is even nuts, but yeah, season two was good. I enjoyed season 2. It's focused more on Danny because Danny at that point, you know, he had to balance not only his job as a car salesman, the top car salesman in the valley, but also him trying to go back to focusing on trying to do karate, not only teaching his daughter, but all the kids who want to learn the proper way. So he's trying to balance that. Doesn't really pay off for him. It ends up hurting his business, and now he's got to figure out what he's gonna do. But that's season 3. So yeah, I enjoyed season 2. Don't know if I like it more than season 1. I don't know yet. I might have to rewatch those again. But season 2 is great. Season 2 is great. That the last season, episode with the school, the whole fight scene at the school was crazy, and that stuff that leads up to the next season, it's like, okay, now the war's gonna start. So yeah, and near the end of the episode, they literally kick out Johnny out of Cobra Kai. They're like, your methods ain't helping us, because he at one point he was like, oh, no mercy, don't show them pain, don't go easy on your opponents. And then near the end of the first season, beginning of the second season, he's like, "Oh, I was wrong. Shouldn't be doing that. I gotta teach you guys the right way to do it." And everybody turns on him because they believe that if they are soft like the others are soft, they ain't gonna get anywhere in life. That's how they see it. It's because they're all brainwashed. And that's because of Johnny's old teacher. He's there now. He's back, and now he's in charge of Cobra Kai. And then it becomes a civil war in a way, and especially once you watch 3, because then it's gonna get even crazier. But I'll be right back with that one. But stay tuned for that one. So let me comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about season 2 of Cobra Kai, and whose side are you guys on? You guys on Cobra Kai side, Mr. Miyagi's side, Danny's side? Whose team are you guys rooting for? For me, I was on Team Cobra Kai from the first season because I thought they were going to be a good team and be redeemed, because they kind of made Danny look like he was a jerk and not wanted to move on because he was too paranoid with the fact that, this kid was bullying him as a kid and he doesn't want to let it go. But now that the script has turned again, now Cobra Kai has become pretty much the biggest jerks in the town, and it's affecting not only the school but the whole town itself, and it's pretty wild. So yeah, wait to season 3. So let me comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you very much, and have a good day.